Welcome back, my brave and beautiful humans, to another episode of Soul Hygiene. I am so blessed today to have my new friend, Mr. Zak, with us. I don't know who added who on Facebook, but I was just really thrilled to have him on my Facebook as a friend, and we connected through his videos that he downloads daily, daily devotionals. They're amazing. I really encourage you to go check him out if that's your thing. But he will tell you a little bit about himself, where you can find him on Facebook, and give us a little bit about him, who he is as a person, and then we'll just see where the conversation goes. So I'm really excited for you guys to meet him, and hopefully he'll be a regular guest. You never know. We're always pushing for our guests to be more than just a guest. So hello, Mr. Zak. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. My name is Zak Avila, and my social media is Iron Sharpening Iron. And I am a faithful follower of God, and I am suffering from substance abuse, PTSD, depression, anxiety, parental alienation, estrangement, and the list goes on. And I am here by the grace of God, and I am so blessed. And I have a beautiful wife. Her name is Jody, and we have created a beautiful space for our children. And I am 48 years old, from Dayton, Ohio. Let's see, the meat of my life, I began as a firefighter in 1999 in Dayton, Ohio, a firefighter paramedic. And that was, in the beginning, that was because I was younger, that was one of the most exciting jobs that you could ever imagine, with friends. And it was very active and physical. And after about 7 years, it really started to wear on me. All of the traumatic experiences, all the wear and tear. And I started getting injuries, and I started abusing substances, behind the scenes. But everybody's seen me as just a, wonderful father and a hero. But inside, I was really hurt. I was really hurt, really bad. So after I had my first major traumatic injury, my substance abuse got a lot worse, because I got pain medication, and I would mix that with alcohol. And so in 2017, I entered the IAFF National Center of Excellence, and that's an inpatient treatment center, just focused on firefighters, because they know the main cause there usually is substance abuse or PTSD. So it's a dual diagnosis, dual treatment facility, and that was wonderful. I met a lot of great people. I learned a lot of things. Now I came back, and I never got to return back to full duty. I was on light duty, so that was real hurtful. My substance abuse, I would say, got a little worse. I was going through some custody issues, some divorce issues. And so at that time, I entered sober living in California. I think I was there for about 6 months, and that was game changing. That's when I personally started to transform and learn how to live for myself, learn how to live on a schedule every day, those type of things. And I met so many great people that taught me those things, and I'm forever indebted for that. And that's part of the reasons why I want to give back, is because of the people that I've met along this journey that were selfless and just wanted to help their brother. And right after that, I went into a place called Save a Warrior, and that was really the icing on the cake. I learned so much there, so transformative, very spiritual, and I just left there a ball of fire, ready to take on the world. And so after I retired in 2020, I I started teaching special needs kids, and that was so very rewarding. And I just couldn't get ready quick enough to start this new journey in my life. I'm soon to be a life coach, which is going to be great. I hope to build with network with people like you and build my own brand, my own iron sharpening iron. My wife was so nice to make these. She makes these like folders for me. Life coach, iron sharpening iron. But I don't know. That's a side note.
We all have to have that one person, right, that believes in us.
Right. Um, so yes, coming out of teaching the special needs kids, and now I have a new purpose, a new journey. Um, I talk to God every day, and He just blesses me. Um, God and the Holy Spirit, they give me focus and motivation, and they give me the right things to do and say. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Well, and that is amazing to me because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if every person was able to lift themselves up and believe that they can, right?
Right.
And switch their mindset and believe in God and pray every day. We wouldn't feel like we have this purpose if everyone was doing that. And so I feel like we've walked our journey, and I always say God doesn't want people to go through bad things. He doesn't want people to be addicted. He doesn't want people to go through abuse. He doesn't want any of that. But those are the choices that sometimes we make. And if we can get through it and we can really believe and know that life is so much better
Right.
than what we're experiencing at that moment, and we
And,
can flip that mind and be like, no, I'm not going to be this victim to life circumstances. I'm not going to, make my past choose my future, right?
mm-hmm.
And we have to. I always tell people, I'm like, you are the only person that can do that.
Well,
And
the
we
mission right now with Iron Sharpening Iron is to meet people right where they're at, to
exactly.
use my experiences, to use what God has given me right now to meet people where they're at with spirituality in my mind. But it doesn't always have to be that way if you see it.
Right.
I talk about uh, alienation and estrangement and being persecuted and all these feelings that we all have. I try to evoke whoever I'm talking to know that they are worthy, that God is waiting to use them for a purpose. um, so they, once they transform their mind and understand that freedom from everything is waiting for them. um, if we just use these simple things, and the simple things are, the answer
Mhm.
is loving
Yeah.
kindness, compassion, and service to others.
Right.
That's pretty much the answer.
And did you find when you started serving, when you had that purpose, that it helped you heal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
because
Um,
I felt like I felt that, like I immediately, right when I switched that mindset, I was like, now I have to go into the world and help other people.
yeah.
you know
Well, I was, during my healing, I have written so many devotionals, just so many devotionals that everybody that had read them, I would send them, to my wife and to a couple close friends. And they're just like, gosh, you got to put this out there. You got to put this out there. And so my wife encouraged me just not only to put the writings out there, but to actually make videos to explain what I was going through, how I felt, what the emotion was behind the black and white. And so
yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
Well, and I appreciate that because I think in this day and age, especially, a lot of people make decisions solely based on their feelings.
Yeah.
And that's what gets us in trouble. In the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, God says the heart is deceiving,
Right.
and that's why I call this soul hygiene, because when you make decisions, you need to tap into your soul. You need to go deeper than your heart. You
Mm-hmm.
need to scrub that. You need to get rid of that dross and find out what's truly in there. What are your core values? And I've run across a lot of people who don't believe in God, don't read the Bible. And I'm like, I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. I'm just going to show you how it helps me. And if it's not your thing, okay. But that doesn't make it not real.
Yeah, I
And
get a lot of people that really like my videos, but they'll say, well, this is not the King James version. This is not fire and brimstone. You're not saying the right thing. And I'm like, well, I am, because I know there's people out there that they'll run from the fire and brimstone. And I'm not saying that you're not correct to live that way. I mean, I think I support that. I think that's great, you know. And this person is just trying to get out of their bed or walk out the front door.
mhm,
Um, Maybe someday they will reach the point where they know the Bible back and forth, without even opening it. But they have to have a start, and those are
right.
the people I'm trying to reach. Is the people that need lifted up.
Yeah. And I agree with you because I've had that same, I've grown up in church all my life. I'm 49 years old and that's all I really know, right? And I've
Mm-hmm.
still made mistakes. I've still lost my way through many years of my life. So it
Mm-hmm.
can happen to a Christian as well. Um, so I don't sit on a pedestal and look down on people who don't agree with the way that I'm doing things. But if I know that this is my purpose and what God has for me, then the naysayers really, like, who's going to fight me when God's on my side, right?
Amen. Amen.
So I look at it like if you can reach a person with compassion and empathy and kindness first, let them open up, let them start to heal, let them see your walk, let them see God in you. That's what changes people. God says, be fishermen, be fishers of men, right? So we're
Right.
casting our net out there, we're casting our pole, and we're just reeling in people with kindness and compassion. Show
But
them that first.
yeah, they got to know, they got to see the light in somebody,
Mhm.
and they got to know to go to that light. And
Yeah,
then, and they got to know when somebody is not lit up, and to not go to that person, and, you know, go to the person with the light and let them show you the way home. And,
yeah.
and then they'll become a light.
And I enjoy your videos because when I am a King James version person, but if you are
I
speaking
guess
the
I shouldn't have said that.
no, you're fine. You're fine. There are reasons that I just grew up. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I have never found anything wrong in what you're saying because you're leading with the verses, you're leading with your this is my soul, this is my purpose, this is what God has given me, right?
Hmm.
And
Right.
I haven't heard anything you say anything wrong in what you're saying. And to me, that encourages me. And as a person who is a Christian, but I'm a sinner, like I every day, I don't go to church because I'm holier than thou. I go to church because I need God. Because
Right.
I need him, and because I'm nothing and I'm a
Well,
sinner.
everybody needs to know that there's suffering and disappointments. That's what brings the beauty out in everyone. That's what makes you so, so beautiful. We have ups and downs in our life. We're gonna have them. We're gonna have them. It's how we respond to them and pick ourselves up every day and don't carry the shame or guilt and just keep that core loving kindness and compassion in our mind.
And you touched on something where I think our generation is now, is that they do carry that. And that's why either they've created a victimized mindset, or they truly are a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's one thing that I call myself a soul motivator, not a life coach. I'm
Right.
I'm not a life coach. I want to motivate your soul. I want you to understand that this is not the life that you have to have. You can have peace, you can have comfort, you can have, this solid rock to stand on, right? And
Yes.
that's the only thing that is really worth anything in this life, is to have that peace and that comfort. No.
Mm-hmm.
And when I switched that mindset and I was like, no longer a victim, I'm done. I did not realize how much courage that takes until I had to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gives me a lot of compassion and empathy towards people who I know are in that state of mind, to
I,
be very compassionate towards their circumstances.
I think another thing that gets lost that's in Romans is that God wants us to constantly be transforming our mind, constantly,
Mm-hmm.
constantly to not be in the same place, to be growing, not
Yeah.
regressing, but sometimes that happens when we regress. But you have to when you regress, you have to keep transforming, you
Yeah.
know.
Keep growing and learning every day.
Yeah, don't sit still.
No, no. And unfortunately, like I look back on my life, and I did learn a lot through those years of abuse. Um, but I didn't learn as much as I did that day that I said no longer a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like, okay, now I have a fervor. Now I want to, every single day, I want to learn something new. Every single day, I want to grow. I want to be a better person, be a better Christian. And, I think that that automatically comes with that switch in mindset, right?
That's right.
When you
Yeah,
change it, that's just an automatic thing that comes with it.
we learn not to fight the demons because that's all the demons want. And we learn to turn to the light. We learn to, or just be silent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot to be said for that.
There is. And like I told you before we started recording, I just did a podcast episode with my friend Mr. Victor, and we talked about that. Be still, let go of the noise, let go of the distractions. And I think the Bible says, be still and know that I am God.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take care of it. Just be still. Clarity will come. He will give you what you need. And that's kind of what happened with me. I told you I almost died of COVID, and it was like 3 months after that I woke
Mm.
up at 3 a.m. the week before I'd lost most of my hair. And I was just in this state of, oh my goodness, I can't handle like anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was laying there and I woke up, and it was almost like, I know we talked about voices, but it was almost like an audible voice, but it was more subconsciously, I guess. Like these two words, soul hygiene. And at the time, it was meant for me. And I think when God gives us that purpose and He gives us that longing to be better, that's for us at that moment because we have to grow into our purpose. And so
Right.
for me, I had to, for 2 years, learn what soul hygiene meant. I had to scrub my soul. I had to, you know, go past my heart and look and see what type of person am I? Where are my core values? And I think that, you know, that's for everyone. When you do that mindset, that switch and you don't want to be a victim anymore, you're going to have things in front of you that you're going to learn and you're going to grow from. And those are just for you at that moment. And as you learn and grow, now you're inspiring, you're encouraging, you're motivating other people because your life is changing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, at this point, I know that things are just going to be beautiful and amazing, no matter what. No matter what, I know that I'm going to keep on the course of serving others and serving my family and just keeping my eye on Jesus and the whole purpose of life.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on a few of the things that you have, you struggle with. And I think when people see someone who says they're a Christian, they automatically think that they don't have struggles. But you have those things that you did before before
Yeah.
God, but or you had God, but you just kind of strayed off a little bit. I mean, there's consequences for every decision, whether it's good or bad, you know.
Yeah.
But
A few of
when
those things I had to really, it was tough to give up, but I had to
Mhm.
give those up to gain my freedom, you
And I
know.
think that's an amazing motivator. And I think that's why I hope we can do future episodes and touch on each of those because you don't have to live in anxiety. You don't have to live in depression. You don't have to be an addict. And I think that you're an inspiration to those who see that, all those things that they're a part of you. They're always going to be a part of you, but you're on your healing journey and
Hmm.
you're showing others that you don't have to live in them. They're just things that are now just a part of you.
Well, a big part of that is the unrealistic expectations of life. You
Yeah.
know, we have to figure out where we're at and not be hurt that we're not somewhere else. We
Mm-hmm.
have to be real about where we're at and use that transformative mind to move into a different realm.
I love that. I love that because I mean, that's true. And I'm going to say this very lightly, I guess, but addiction is across the board. There's a lot of things you can be addicted to,
Hmm.
especially in this day and age, right?
Right.
But you can be addicted to sugar, to whatever, you can be addicted to lifting weights. I don't know. But people always think of the harsh things, drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. But
Right.
um it amazes me that what you just said there is that you can't live in it. You can't think
Right.
that that's what life is.
Mm-mm.
And so that's enormously motivating. And I love that. And I do encourage people, go look Mr. Zak up, go look up his Iron Sharpening Iron Facebook page because he has so many videos on there. And there may be one just for you.
Thank you
So
so much.
yeah, for sure. So tell everyone, do you have your handles and can you tell everyone how they can find you? Do you have an email address where they can reach out?
Um,
What your path is going forward?
my path is growing. It's growing every day. I'm constantly working on content and growing my knowledge and spirituality, and I will always share it and be an open book. Um, it is iron sharpening iron. Um, there are a lot of those. I didn't know that in the beginning.
I didn't know that
So,
either.
so it's kind of hard to find if you don't have the logo. I wish I had the logo right now, but it is iron sharpening iron. If you see my face, my face is on there.
Okay.
And I am on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and yeah, I think
Okay.
that's covers
Wait,
it.
I will find the links. I really tried to put, that in the bio so people can find you. So I'll look up the links and put that in there for you. But you are an enormous blessing, and I'm so glad we got to finally meet. And I hope there's many more episodes ahead for us. But I do encourage my listeners, please go check Mr. Zak out. Go check out his Facebook page. Even if I know some of my listeners don't believe in God. You're not religious, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
You may have something that hits you differently,
right.
you know? Um, because I know that I have people who listen to the show who are like, hey, that really makes sense. And you don't have to be, I don't call myself religious, I call myself convinced.
Well, the whole
And
thing about AA that Alcoholics Anonymous that has survived for almost 100 years now. I think maybe more than 100. I'm doing my math right, but it's survived the test of time, I would say. And all they wanted you to do is to go in there, but the end result is to bring you to God. I know that's a controversial statement that people jump all over me for that, but that is my truth. That is the truth. I mean, if you read the 12 steps, it's all about, you know, giving it up to the higher power. And,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. In the beginning, you just have to believe in yourself. You have to give it up and believe in yourself. But everybody needs to move towards the spirit, whatever spirit that is. But
yeah.
that, that's right.
We know that God has many things out there for people who truly believe.
Right.
He has a purpose for everyone.
I would just say my belief is you can't be truly delivered from anything until you have God. You can think you are for a few years maybe,
Hmm.
but we can't rely on the ego. That's another tough one, is getting out of our ego.
Yeah, ego and feelings. They're
Yeah,
very hard to, like you said, get out of and not trust them,
right.
right?
Hmm.
We should never trust ourselves. We are we are
But we
feeble
can fool
people.
ourselves. We can fool
Yeah,
ourselves for a short period of time that we're doing everything right, and until we are totally submitted, um, we can't be delivered from the horrible things.
yeah,
You know, it's controversial too, but that's what I stand on.
yeah. But that's okay. I mean, if we're not controversial, then we're not fulfilling our purpose, right?
Right.
So I thoroughly enjoy you and I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. And I hope you
Oh,
have a wonderful Christmas with your family. Someday you can maybe scoot the wife in and we can have a little chat with both of you. You never know.
that'd
But
be great.
yeah, that would be awesome. Um, yeah, I hope we can do, some more episodes and we'll see where it goes. But I really appreciate you listening to what your purpose is and motivating and inspiring people and just keep doing it.
Thank you
You
so
never
much,
know. You never
TJ.
know. Just one person's life can be changed.
I
So
know it.
that's
It's
my prayer.
beautiful. Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Zak, and thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Soul Hygiene. We'll see you later.